Okay, it is the 1st of June at 6:02, and we are calling this meeting to order. Ted is here. Ted Purcell is here. A quorum is here. He just hasn't logged in yet. Okay, first item we're going to take out of order is, because Joe is here, we'll let him spend some time with his family tonight. He's here to talk about the changes that had to be made to the water and sewer budget in order to keep the water plant running. Okay, so Joe, do you want to explain it to anybody with any questions?
Yep, just give me a minute. I'm changing rooms.
Okay, you got pushed out, huh?
Well, truth be told, my daughter's playing softball and they'll come home all crazy, you know? So I better be out of the way. And I'll get to hear about the hit or I didn't catch or what happened. I'm better off to just move.
Buy a small apartment in Rutland.
So anyways, our water plant runs 7 days a week.
Yes.
And we currently have one full-time operator. We had one guy who, one person who sadly passed away, longtime employee, and another employee who took a job in another town, a promotion. We hired somebody in the short term, but that person was able to get a better position for themselves as well, shorter commute. And what ended up happening was, what's most challenging about running the water plant is you need to have certain licenses from the Commonwealth. And there's a shortage of them statewide. So what we did was we contracted with Weston Sampson in the short term to be able to legally run the facility. And we reached out to 3 or 4 other firms, Methuen Construction, RH White. They're all having trouble getting the operator who has this specific set of skills. We've since re-advertised, but I'm concerned that we won't be able to get someone in quick enough to run the place. We can't expect the one person to operate the facility, 7 days a week through the next 6 months. It's not realistic. So what we're going to do is put a bid out, hopefully sometime in July, for contract operators. And at the same time, try and get new staff here. What that does is that gives us the ability to continue running the plant legally. And at the same time, we're working to rebuild our staff. So to cover that, I raised the operating budget by $50,000. It's just a guess. What I can tell you is to get an operator in, it's between $100 and $150 an hour.
Okay.
Now, can I cover anyone's questions? I went really fast, sorry.
Okay, so the motion now reads, guys, that $50,000 is coming from the water and sewer enterprise retained earnings.
No.
No.
This is to update the existing budget in front of you. You have a small spreadsheet that was prepared as part of the budget document that talks about operations, salaries, etc. This will increase that for the budget on the floor.
So this is different than the $2,437,501.85?
Yeah, this basically raises that $50,000.
Okay.
If we're unable to do that, we have plenty of retained earnings, but I think it's more accurate to have it in the rate because that's what it actually costs.
So would this be under salaries or would this be under expenses?
Expenses.
Okay, so that's what I just have. I just want to make sure that we have everything all squared away.
Yep.
Does that increase in the current budget?
No, this is water and sewer, it's an enterprise fund, it's okay.
Believe me, I don't want to increase the enterprise fund either.
No.
But it is what it is.
You don't have a choice.
Right.
No, not really.
So
And-
any other, oh, go ahead.
Maybe we get lucky and we're able to hire a couple of people, or we're hoping to get some inexperienced staff and train them so that they could become more interested in staying here.
That'd be good.
It's all in the licensing.
Yep.
Is there a special license that I know there's a special license, but does the state only give the test for it every once in a while? Or is it just people don't have the desire to get the license?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
A couple things are in play. They have to work for a year in the field plus take an exam. And you can't necessarily go to school for it. It's more, there are classes to get you up to speed on what you need to do it. And it's basically some high school chemistry and some mechanical skills. But not everyone jumps to the task.
So if it's not increasing that budget by 50,000, it must increase some budget by 50,000?
It increases the water and sewer enterprise account by 50, that budget by 50,000. A small spreadsheet that's shown in the warrant.
So instead,
So when someone gets up and asks, why did that go up 50,000? We just say, don't worry about it. Only the people that have water are paying for it.
Pretty much.
what we say.
What they always say. Tom Mushala is paying for it.
And Tom is
I'm gonna have to answer those questions. It's gonna be a long evening, I'm afraid.
Okay, any other questions?
You're not going fishing.
I also want to make it for the record that Tom Rashala has joined us at about 3 minutes ago, so 6:05. Any other questions? Okay, well, thank you very much, Joe. I appreciate it.
I'm sorry about the last minute thing, folks, but that the person we had working for us left about 2 weeks ago.
Not to worry. Thank you very much.
All right, be well.
All right, you too. Bye-bye. Okay.
Karen, if you need anything else, just shoot me an email. I am around.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, guys.
Thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Second thing on the agenda for tonight is a $10,000 transfer for the fire department. So to move, I make the motion that we approve the $10,000 transfer from 231-5120 ambulance wages. Present balance is $112,085 to 231-5850 ambulance additional equipment. Present balance in the above appropriation is $11.91. And the purpose of this is to cover the cost of equipment used during the pandemic that was not able to be replaced by any FEMA or CARES funding. Okay? Any discussion? I can call Seth if we have any questions.
Did he tell you what it was?
Huh? No, he didn't. He mainly just said that this is similar to the fire department with the cuts. This is a way to be able to get it. So.
Why couldn't
There's a certain point that you know, I don't know. I can't tell you that. If we can call him if you guys want. He's in another meeting, but he said he could step out. So, okay. Any other discussion? Any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote. Narwhal, aye, unanimous. Fine. Nope, because it should be able to be heard here. Okay. So now let's do the minutes of the meeting from May 25th. 5th. Okay, any discussion, any corrections? Okay, so we'll take a roll call vote. Narwhal, aye, unanimous. All right, so now guys, I got the motions. I did email them to you. We got them literally right before I was packing to come here. So the changes are Article 4. Right now, it's all worded with the override. So just look at Article 4. It's not going to change our vote on Article 4 because we want to vote for the municipal budget. We want favorably vote. But if the override fails, then That's where the cuts are coming from. Article 9 is the big one. Article 9 is to raise and appropriate the sum for Wachusett operations assessment. She has written in here now and further to raise and appropriate an additional sum of $300,000 for such purposes, provided, however, that such additional appropriation shall be expressly contingent upon approval by the voters at an election of a Proposition 2.5, so-called override, allowing the town to raise such amounts outside the otherwise applicable limits established by said Proposition 2.5. So currently, we recommend unfavorably on Article 9.
So the amount is in Article 9.
Yep.
Is that what they requested?
It is what they requested, but $300,000 of it is contingent upon passing of the override.
All right, so that's the article states, we give them what they want,
Contingent,
given that the override passes.
yes.
Okay.
So
And if it doesn't pass.
then it fails. Then it fails.
Okay.
So
They
when
don't get, they don't get.
it's been failed, yeah, we've now said no. So
But
unless other towns vote, then we're stuck. Yes, yes. Right, yeah. So Lauren mentioned, the lawyer mentioned that now with the way it's worded, we could say we recommend favorably on it, because if we say to vote favorably on it, we're saying vote for the override, and then it's okay. If you don't want to vote for the override, then it's not.
So could we word it such that finance committee recommends favorably based upon or contingent upon.
That's already in, that's already
we don't need to.
That's in.
the motion that we're going to be reading.
Right. And what we normally would do is then do our own recommendation.
Right.
So could we,
Usually when we do our recommendation, it's favorable, unfavorable, or no action.
right,
So I think what you can do is, the motion going to be on the floor, you're going to say, what's your recommendation? Favorably, and then once on discussion, I think you get up and say, explain what this is. If we vote favorably because if the override passes, it is. If the override does not pass, then this article, this money will not be appropriated for that article.
oh, that should be Randy, right?
It will be a combination of people if that question,
Come from us.
if that question is posed.
No, we should know. We should get up and say, without question. Just leave it. So we gotta get up and say,
You
explain.
could, I mean, you could do that. I won't be, I can't volunteer. Ted, you can't volunteer. But honestly, you could, right when it stops, discussion, someone set up, say that the finance committee would elaborate or whatever on it. And just so, I don't know what the benefit of that is, maybe just so the town people don't think we're just saying it's fine to.
Just so what they understand clearly, this is what's happening. That when, we don't need them to be saying if we try to do something that
Right.
was, around the corner from what they knew was going on.
So we would,
And explain, we're not in favor of that whole budget. But in order to get to a balanced budget, this is what we had to do, and it's contingent on the override.
so we would be recommending, we would initially make a recommendation favorably for passing of this article as written.
As written.
And then we could stand up and elaborate and say that, I mean, how would we deal with that? The $700,000 is what they asked.
We're just dealing with this article.
I'm sorry, $7 million, what was that? Was
4 million to something. Yep. Yeah, that's, this is the operations
So
assessment.
the $4 million is what was requested.
Yes.
How did the $300,000 come about? For the override, how did are we proposing that the school, if they don't pass the override, that the school will reduce their budget? Or are we just saying this would entail a no vote by the town?
If the override does not pass. It is a no vote. And the school gets a no vote. That doesn't mean anything unless Paxton votes no. If Paxton votes yes, we're stuck on the level with it anyway.
So that means we'll come back to the adjustment.
We've already done the adjustments.
No, I
We've already done
understand.
Yep.
We just need to say, okay.
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I'm just saying, right now, we say unfavorable. So,
I guess you.
right, that's,
Everything, I think it's right. I think a statement is prudent.
Yeah, the way that's written, they're gonna get their basic amount of their, what they want. This is the over and above amount.
yes, this is the operations assessment. Yep.
1,291,791.
Yeah, don't, I didn't check the numbers because she gave them to us so late.
And then it's an additional 300,000 is, I read it wrong the first time, so I'm going back to what I said to you earlier. So they wouldn't get the additional 300,000, what they would.
No, the 4,250,000 whatever is, we're going to approve it if $300,000 passes. If not, it's failed. And the entire thing is failed.
I read it that way at first, but I don't read it that way now.
Okay, well, I didn't, I have the old one.
He says, I move that the town vote to raise and appropriate the sum of $1,291,971 to defray the expenses of Wachusett.
Operations assessment. That's the old one.
Wait a minute, stop, I gotta go back to it, you know. There'll be a better way to get to it than I am. To defray the expenses of the Wachusett operations assessment for the fiscal year in July 21. And further, to raise and appropriate an additional sum of 300,000
You're right.
for such purposes, provided, however, that such additional appropriation shall be especially.
Right.
Voted as they go. So what I said earlier, I said to you, they don't get into, but they do. So where the top part of this motion is going, but it's the 300,000 contingent on the 2.5 that they wouldn't get if it doesn't pass.
This would be a no vote on the school budget.
Right. So again, the 4 million includes the 300,000.
No, the 300,000 is above the 4 million
It is above, but if they,
because we're not giving them the full amount. It's a no vote.
So, but we didn't change that. That number,
I don't agree with you there.
Okay, so hold on a second, guys. So I can get the lawyer here before the town meeting to have this discussion. But the problem comes in where we need to put, because we're going to be putting this out. What she said is if we vote this, if we vote this favorable, we're saying we're only favorable on the school budget if the override passes. That's what she said.
that's what I'm trying to get to. The budget, to me, it sounds like it's the budget number, the 4 million plus is the number. But only if the override passes.
It is.
Okay, which means that $300,000 is in that number.
No, it's an additional 300. So the 4 million is there plus the 300.
So we're saying that it's 4.7 million.
Yeah, I'd have to look in the budget. Yeah, because of course it does, it's not split out. It's not split out here.
So I think this gets, Tom, at that point, what I was talking about a few weeks ago. If on Saturday night's town meeting, this gets voted down, then it gets voted down, Article 9 is voted down. It doesn't matter what comes out of the override vote.
That is correct.
Correct. I would agree with that.
So
If it gets
we
voted
want
down.
this passed in order to allow the override vote to even happen
So-
and count if it
The
passes.
old amount was 4,591,971. Now she's saying 4,259,971 plus. She took the 300. Yeah, that's why I had to just,
so it's still, you want favorably, you want to let the override.
Right. So-
What we're talking about before, are we saying that if you vote in favor of this, you're voting in favor of the $4.5 million at the town meeting, but it's contingent upon if the 300,000 passes?
that is correct.
Okay, I mean,
You can say yes on the town floor, but if the budget, if the contingency of the override doesn't pass, it's a failure.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
You think
I
if,
don't agree with what you said, because you look at all the other articles, Article 6, you're giving them 7,500,000 for their minimum local contribution. You're giving them.
That's, yes.
You're giving them out for the debt service.
Yeah, that's all minimum local contributions. We don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice.
This is the only number we're allowed to play with, Tom.
I understand that. But what I'm saying is, in Article 9, you're giving them 4 million too. And if the override passes, you're gonna give another 300.
Yes.
If it doesn't pass, you're giving them a reduced budget of those items added up with the 4 million too in it. That's the way it reads.
Well, so the lawyer doesn't say that, but
Here's the thing. We can say we're gonna put $3.50 in here. The town votes it in. It goes to the school committee. The school committee can say, yeah, not so much. It means they have to revisit the budget. Doesn't mean they have to go with our number. It means that they have to revisit it if 2 towns vote it down.
I'm not disagreeing with that. What I'm saying is, what we're voting here is gonna be an amount that adds up to, in their budget, less than $300,000.
Yes.
Unless the override passes.
Right.
Then if the passes, then it's the whole amount that you talked about. And we're reporting, but whatever it does to their budget is something that, whatever, that's what it does. What we're voting on here is that total amount of those 1, 2,
okay,
4 articles.
and I'm good with that, because that's $14 million, whatever it is.
Whatever it is.
Whatever that turns out to be.
But either way, it's still a favorable, it's still, we should recommend it favorably.
Well,
Right.
Right,
yeah,
regardless,
absolutely.
We're favorable of that budget, less than 300,000, what we want anyway. I mean, not what we want.
I
what
guess
we said we would do.
for the purpose of this meeting, for what we're doing, we should just make it favorable in these numbers and.
So could I have a motion that the finance committee recommend favorably in Article 9?
So moved.
Okay, can I-
Second.
okay, any other discussion? Okay, roll call vote.
You're right.
O'Malley, aye.
And Narwhal die. Okay. Article 13. When we first were going through all of this, we were given the number, but at the time we didn't have any free cash. Now there is some free cash. I know we had this conversation earlier, but I want to get it on the record again tonight. That Article 13, we're going to say, we don't recommend, it's not that we don't recommend the CIPC recommendations. We're saying hold off until the fall when we know. Yes. We don't need to make the motion. We've already said it once that we thought that the best use of free cash was to hold it until the fall for CIPC to see what would happen with the American Rescue Act. It is, but the thing is we've already voted favorably. I just need him to remove these pieces. Because it wasn't our notes, but he wasn't at that meeting. And I just want to confirm that everyone's on the same page, that we would wait to address these issues until the fall. You can if you want. No, this isn't a motion, this is a motion. Where it says capital, so on Article 13, it says CIPC proposed, then he took it upon himself to put Finance Committee recommended subject to approved override, and Finance Committee recommend if the override fails. So he took it upon himself, or someone took it upon themselves to say that we would spend 116,198 for these things now instead of waiting until the fall.
Right, and it's listed here as
It does, but the thing,
So this motion, we should get up on this motion, we should get up and say, I make a motion, we should get no action on Article 13.
okay, but 13, the purpose of putting favorable on 13 was because It allows the select board to take by eminent domain, purchase or otherwise acquire any fee, easement, or interest in land, except fund, all these kinds of things in here. So we want them to be able to do it, because we just don't want them, to take the free cash.
So the motion that we made says, we don't raise or appropriate any money for free cash, we do the rest of the job.
Exactly. And that's what I want to make sure we're all on the same page, because I'm going to send this to Ron and say, I'm sorry, but we didn't recommend, subject to the override, to put this money in
So this is something you're gonna change.
for the, yes.
Not just change on the floor.
This, exactly. I want the motion changed, because the motion sheet just has the writing. It doesn't have any amounts. It just says, to see if the town will vote, blah, 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 blah. So, and you have to kind of vote favorably, because it's important that for Palmagussit Road, we're gonna have to take some stuff by eminent domain, and we want them to be able to. Okay, so I'm gonna tell them to remove this. No, I'm going to tell Ron to change this. No, because then we still say recommend favorably. So is everybody in agreement or not?
So the language changed, and we want to go back to the original language.
The language was changed that we recommended to spend $116,198 from free cash on these projects. We never said that we didn't support the CIPC. We just said we should hold off to the fall because of the tightness of the budget. Right. Yeah. Yes.
So somewhere there must exist a version that doesn't have the CIP stuff in there.
That, well, yeah, there's, I don't know. We had a lot of iterations of this, and it showed up with some stuff there. He really wanted it.
Once the roof's done.
Yeah.
Right, well, my suspicion is.
Well, so the concern is that if we leave it open.
Well, then you'd have to change it on the floor. I'm sure that's what you'd have to do.
Yes, but I'm gonna, so
I know,
So-
go in the way we want, but.
everyone's in agreement that I tell him to remove the finance committee.
Motions or anything on that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's have a motion.
Okay, okay.
I make a motion to. I don't know how you want.
Move the finance committee recommended, subject to approved override column on Article 13.
What you said,
Which removes the expenditure amount to the.
Exactly. Okay, that, which removes using $116,198 of free cash for capital improvement projects now. Okay. Okay, we got a first, we got a second. Any discussion? We all happy with this now? Okay, roll call vote. Narwhal, aye. Okay. All right. And then the only small other thing is it's more of a preference thing, and just in the past, when the finance committee has voted and we make a recommendation, we do not put the vote. We put finance committee recommends favorably, finance committee recommends no action, or unfavorably. We don't put 3, 4, 2 against, we don't put any of that. One of the motions has that, and I want to know what the feeling is before I ask him. Article 22. It was 4 yay and 1 abstention. And in the past, we've never done that. That doesn't mean we can't do it. It's just we've never done it.
I don't like doing that.
I don't see what the benefit is.
No, it's not.
And why is he doing it? That's not what we want there, so.
Right.
Put it there.
Right. So we don't need a motion for that. I'm just gonna tell him that that's the way we want it. I'll be highlighting stuff, sending this back to him. I'm getting good at
I still don't understand why we have to say no,
Yep.
no action itself, but I don't know where that is in our bylaws. We have to consider each thing, but I don't know where
We have to make a recommendation. on each.
you're gonna make a recommendation, but when
So,
you just say no action, that brings up a lot of questions from people. And I didn't get my stuff out. I was gonna do that to get my stuff out and read it. Maybe I'll do that before Saturday.
okay, so the only other question that I have is,
Wait a minute, let's vote on that.
I don't think it needs a vote. Okay, we'll take a vote.
Well, you make a motion, I take a vote.
Go ahead.
I make a motion that we correct the town administrator, correct the warrant.
To remove, no, not to correct, to remove our vote from the warrant. Oh,
Right, to correct what's got written there, to remove that vote.
Okay.
Line.
okay, any other discussion?
Lucy, you're right.
Purcell,
Narwhal, aye. Unanimous. Okay, so now we have to have a meeting before the town meeting, just to make sure that, you know, when last minute stuff comes up, which it always seems to come up.
Say it the way you mean it.
So I just want to know if you guys want to be there an hour before or half an hour before. You don't have a say. You don't have a say in what time.
If we're there the hour before, then we can get done with our stuff and you got a few minutes to sit.
You know what else? They say they're gonna produce for you. You can waste 10 minutes trying to get organized and wherever you're gonna be.
Well, I know, and then sometimes the selectmen may have, or some of us ask questions and we do that for a little bit.
Okay.
I don't disagree with you. It's,
Peter can't come around, tell us, this button turns on, the mic this. You know, we'll have all
Okay, so 5,
of them.
I'll expect you both to zoom in. You can zoom in. Okay, so go ahead, Ted, you had something. Oh, okay, yeah, he asked first and then I just want to get this out.
Article 11, Title 1, and that's what we just talked about with Joe, correct?
Yes.
Do we need to make any kind of motion or anything, or is it just it's staying favorable and that was just an explanation of why it changed?
Oh, yes, and her numbers didn't change yet on this bottom number. So I have to make sure that that gets changed. Well, no, it's gonna change by the 50. What it is Ron wasn't able to be in the office this afternoon due to a family emergency. So therefore when this came, literally this came, I don't know, 4:45. So no one's really had a chance to look at it. So that's the reason why, but I knew we had to address it this evening.
So we thought about whether or not one would be.
Haven't given it a thought.
I'm just saying, we can just go on a personal emergency.
The good news is we need the finance committee, we need the select board, we need the lawyer, and we need the moderator. Yep, we need 10 voters. Yes.
so why is it that Article 24 got all changed around? This article's been there for 6,000 years, all of a sudden we don't need it anymore.
I didn't ask.
Okay.
Would you like me to ask?
Well, this is one of the items I questioned when they post what's going on. They didn't post about the override vote in that posting. Remember I questioned it at one of the meetings and she said she would look into it.
Mhm.
So this is the same thing. And now all these things here now are no longer needed.
Article 24 is to choose all necessary town officers and committees.
Correct. Then it
Okay.
goes on to all the other stuff that's crossed off also. And the last one is the town, the actual article 24 is all the town meeting.
Oh, I think what it is she's got it all crossed out because the 10th of May is not when we're voting. We're voting on the 28th of June.
Oh, no, right.
Yeah.
So it's just all we can-
And we're not voting.
The whole thing is the town meeting starts with the voting, it's all one, you know what I'm saying, it's all one.
Yeah, this one here is a voting for the moderator, the board of selectmen. I don't know. I can ask the question.
No, you don't, no, you don't, yes.
Okay.
I don't understand. As I've said before, they tell us to do one thing, and then 2 months later, we find out that was the incorrect information, so we redo it, and we pay them to do both things.
Yep.
So we pay them to give us the incorrect information, then we pay them to give us the correct information.
Job security.
That was your comment.
There should be a
I'd rather put
penalty
the
for
money into the
incorrect
water and
information.
sewer.
Okay, so any other discussion?
I have nothing.
I will vote.
Okay. If it's acceptable to everybody, I'm going to cancel Thursday's meeting. Do you find that we need to have a meeting on Thursday? I don't think we do. I think at this point, right, right. And if by chance, everything breaks loose, I will let all of you know who are going to be at the town meeting that we have to move our meeting earlier. So I'll let you know.
So we're gonna be at what you said, 5 o'clock, before 5 o'clock. on Saturday.
Yes. I don't, yes, they'll be there for everybody. I believe the select board usually meets about an hour before too. So, they did say that I will believe it when I see it. We can meet out in the parking lot if we have to. Okay, so I guess I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second,
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Lucy, aye.
Narwhal, aye. Thanks, guys.